Hello, I'm Max Désir, and welcome to S.T.A.R.Productions, spiritually trained and renewed productions. Today I got a treat for you. Fashion designer extraordinaire, Ariel Smith is in the house. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. Max with S.T.A.R.Productions, spiritually trained and renewed productions, where it's not enough to be talented, you have to be spiritually trained and renewed. I have the one and only Ariel Smith in the house. Hello, Ariel.
Hey, how you doing?
Would you say hi to the people?
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here.
Well, my first question to all of my guests is always the same. Could you tell us who is Ariel Smith?
Alright, okay, so who is Ariel Smith? Well, really I'm just a human trying to make it like everyone else. I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington. At a very early age, I knew I wanted to be a designer. Actually around the age of 8 or 9, I knew I wanted to be a designer. So it's just always been something that has been ingrained in me ever since I was in elementary, throughout high school, throughout college. It's something that I've always wanted to do. So that's really who I am. It's just something that makes me happy, and so every day I just strive to do something that makes me happy every day.
That is fantastic. If you would tell us about your brand, Ariel Smith, Ariel Inc. Tell us a little bit about that brand and all the things we need to know about it.
Yeah, so Ariel Inc. is really just an extension of me as a brand. When I came up with the concept, I really wanted a fashion line that spoke to people who were not afraid to be themselves, who were bold, independent, fierce people in society, and that's really what I wanted to portray. Even though I started the company out really small, I do plan on growing it to a huge thing, which is why I chose to call it Ariel Inc. and not something smaller, because I want it to be not just a fashion brand, but eventually a lifestyle.
I like it. I like it. So how did you get started in the fashion business or fashion designing in general?
Well, I started really young. My first fashion show was actually my senior project in high school. So that was really fun for me. I went to Washington State University, where I graduated with an apparel design degree. So I studied fashion in college. But I didn't start my company until after I graduated and a few years into my my adulthood career, I guess, if you would say that. So I was actually a teacher in Birmingham for a few years after I graduated. I joined Teach America, and it was a really great experience for me. I actually was a math teacher, so I taught geometry, which was very different from what I went to school for, but it was a really cool experience. But while I was a teacher, I still was making things at home. So I would make clothes for myself and then wear them to school. And then the teachers just caught on and just loved everything I wore.
Wow.
And so I ended up making at least like half the teachers, principals, like outfits at the school. And so by this point, you know, I'm making everyone clothes. I'm like, you know what, this needs to have a name behind it. It needs to have, you know, some type of a name where I can put myself out there. So that's when I decided to, you know, create Ariel Inc.
Wow. Was there an internship process in the schooling? Was there an internship process to get you where you are now?
Internship process. Let's see.
With the school, did you have to intern somewhere?
Let's see. In high school, I did a lot of internships in Seattle. But
How about college?
in college, I didn't really do too many internships either.
You came prepared. You came already the real deal.
You know, I wish I had more mentors, but I really didn't have too many mentors. A lot of the things that I've done, I've just learned by trial and error.
Wow.
Is really what it was. I had a lot of great teachers, design teachers. My high school fashion design teacher was by far the best design teacher I've ever had. She ended up taking us to New York when I was really young. It was my first time going, and it was just a wonderful experience.
So was your high school also teaching fashion designing?
So I was really lucky to be able to I went to a regular high school, but then my 11th and 12th grade year, I was able to go to a skills center for half the day. So kind of like a tech school. And so at the tech school, they had wonderful classes like fashion design, firefighting, like computer tech, nursing. So they had all those really great schools. And had fashion design, so that was just amazing for me.
Wow. So, do you have any specific persons or designers who influence your work?
I do. Well, a lot of the designers that inspire me are kind of gone now, but their name lives on, and that's really why they inspire me. Like Coco Chanel, like that's just a brand that has been passed on for generations, and that's something that a female started, and the fact that it still lives on even though she's dead is just amazing. So that's one of my biggest inspirations.
What was your very first job before you got into all this wonderful world of fashion designer?
My first real job, I guess, was teaching. Was being a high school teacher before designing. So that was really, really, really cool experience.
Wow. And math, brainiac.
Yes.
We got a brainiac on your hands. Fashion and brains.
Yeah, people don't really know that a lot about me because I'm really artsy, so I stay on like the artistic side, but I actually am very smart too. I skipped second grade, and then I finished college in 3 years, so a lot of people don't understand that as well.
Yeah.
So I've always been book smart, but even though, people always tend to think that, the STEM classes are the most important, I feel like, being artistic can be just as important. So
I agree. If you were to go back in time in your fashion career, is there anything you would change at this point, at the very beginning?
That's such a hard question because when I look back, there's so many mistakes that I've made, but I believe those mistakes have made me who I am today. So I can't necessarily say I would want to go back and change all of that. Even though, I know so much now, if I did go back, I would do it probably completely different. But everything that has happened to me has made me who I am. So.
Absolutely. The good and the bad, they shape you into who you are today.
Exactly.
What role do you think social media plays in fashion today?
Social media plays a huge role in fashion. The design industry is changing, and I feel like they might be behind the game of like where it's going because social media plays such a big role. They're kind of overlooking a few things, like maybe Instagram and Facebook. Like Instagram models, like people laugh at Instagram models a lot, but no, like they have tons of followers, and all those followers will buy products that they wear. So social media is really changing the game and changing how we look at models and like who's an influencer of the day. And because I don't believe magazines are great, but I feel like magazines are not what is really grabbing the attention of like the young generation.
Have you discovered any models on Instagram models?
That's where I discover all my models. Really, yes. If I need models for any of my looks, I'll send out like a message on Instagram, and then have
I need to get me an Instagram model.
Oh, yeah, and I'll send out a look, and then they'll send me their pictures via Instagram, and then that's how I'll book someone.
So this is a real deal.
It's very real. Yes.
Wow. So if you wanted to do the whole Instagram model thing, right there we got a fashion designer saying she chooses the models from Instagram.
Oh yes.
So do your thing.
Oh yeah, please. Like if you're an Instagram model out there, keep doing your thing. Don't listen to anyone who says that social media is not the thing, because that's where our generation is going.
Wow. Ariel, what was your biggest fear when it was time for you to have the brave idea of starting your own line?
Biggest fear? Well, one is I knew really nothing about starting a business. Like I have the creative side and the genius side, but I knew nothing about starting a business. And I still am like, struggling at some points because it's not my strong suit. Like being organized and being, very goal oriented is something that I really had to learn and train myself as a business owner. So that was one of my biggest fears. Two was, trying to support myself while following my dreams full time. That's really, really hard. Like quitting a 9-to-5 and really pursuing your goals is really, really tough. People don't understand how hard it is to be an entrepreneur.
Amen, sister.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is to be an entrepreneur and really follow your goals. And they believe, there's this, stigma that if you're an entrepreneur, you sit at home and you're lazy. That's not the case at all. Usually when you're an entrepreneur, you're working like
more
20 hours a day. Like,
easy.
Like
I'm with you, sister.
Sun up to sundown. It's not no 9-to-5 thing. It's like, 7 to 12 o'clock at the night, 7 to 12 a.m. So that was another, fear is like, will I be able to support myself when I'm quitting this job? Like, what am I going to do to make sure I make ends meet? Because this is something I know I want to do long term. So.
Oh, that's a good point right there. And here's a word of encouragement. If you are pursuing your dream and getting into the whole entrepreneur mindset, don't get discouraged. Go out there, maybe while you hold on to your 9 to 5, start saving toward that, but make it happen. But
Exactly.
It's hard work.
It is.
It's hard work.
It is.
We should know. We're both entrepreneurs. We should know it's hard work. What is your favorite part about being a designer?
Favorite parts? Really, it's just seeing ideas come into reality. Like, I love seeing, something in your mind turning into something physical. That's really, really just amazing for me to see.
From abstract to concrete.
Exactly, yes.
And when you're designing particular clothes, you already have a vision in your head what it's going to look like before you go on paper?
My design process really differs. I guess it really just depends. Sometimes I'll be inspired by music. Sometimes I'll be inspired by a different color. Or sometimes I'll be inspired by fabric. So it really just depends on where I am that day and what inspires me. But sometimes I can sit and I can draw something out and make it. Sometimes I can't sketch at all. So it's really just like depends on where I am.
I love it. So you get your inspiration from different places.
Oh yeah, different.
Wow.
Every single time. Like I never can pinpoint where it's gonna come from. I just make sure that I'm in that receptive mode, in that, the mode where my brain is like, okay, I'm in a great mode. It's gonna come. Just let it happen.
Wow. Ariel, your women clients,
Yes.
have you had any feedback? How do they feel when they wear your clothes?
Yeah. I do have a lot of feedback, and most of the time my clients are really, really happy when they wear my clothes, and they just feel beautiful. They feel like the star in the room, and that's really how I want my clients to feel. Whenever they wear one of my pieces, I want them to feel like they stand out. I want them to feel like everyone's noticing them for all the right reasons. So that's one reason, one thing.
I know it has to be special to be wearing something that was made just for you.
It is. It really is special. That's why I love doing custom designs. And I based my company off of, custom pieces and custom designs.
Yeah, I love custom designs. I prefer wearing custom. Do you make clothes for men?
I do. I dabble in it a little bit. I need to. I'm going to, do an actual full men's collection because I.
You got a client right here, girl. Right here.
Yes, there's a lot, a fire on me getting that together, but I definitely will in the future.
I like that. Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And once it's out, S.T.A.R. Productions will tell you about it. Do you feel pressured when you have a collection that came out and people give you all the wow, magnificent, splendiferous, this was great? Do you feel any pressure coming up with the next collection to make sure it measures up or even goes higher than the last one?
There is a lot of pressure. I believe most of the pressure comes from myself. Just like, okay, I did amazing here. What can I do to top myself the next time? You know what I mean? So I guess it's really just that internal drive to really express myself in the best possible way.
Wow. Yeah. So you are your biggest enemy.
Basically, yes. The biggest enemy, my biggest supporter, all of that, all of the above.
Fantastic. Well, I discovered you because we had an event in town called Nashville Fashion Week. And as I was getting ready to be part of Nashville Fashion Week, I saw your designs. I saw your name and was quite inquisitive. Went to look at what do you have out there, and I fell in love. I love your design, and I thought we gotta have you on the show. How did you get invited to Nashville Fashion Week?
Well, I actually applied for the Emerging Designers show. And I believe I heard about it last year because my friends and designers Splash by DKG were in it. And I've done a few fashion shows with them in Alabama. So I saw they were going to Nashville Fashion Week, and I was like, oh, that's really wonderful, that they're doing this. And then as my manager was, showing me the different fashion shows that I could be involved with, he said Nashville, and I was like, oh, let's try that. Let me go ahead and apply for that. So that's, Slash by DKG did it. So, I love them. I love what they're doing. So I had to, see if I could get in it as well.
Nice. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you on starting the runway last night at Nashville Fashion Week.
Yes.
Among that collection last night, did you have a specific outfit that was your favorite?
One of my favorites. It had to be the finale piece. It was just this huge, oversized, black and white trench coat, and it was just beautiful to me. I actually had made it the day before the fashion show because I knew I just needed that final piece to tie everything in together, and I knew I didn't have it yet. So I was like, I need to have this out. And I had been wanting to do something huge like that. And I forgot about it, but I was looking through my pictures and I saw my inspiration I had. And I was like, you know what? I need to do this. I need to make this. So, I did everything in my power to get the fabric, get the time to do it. And it just turned out better than my expectations. So I was just really, really happy.
Which brings me to my next question.
Yes.
What's the average time for you to make an outfit?
Well, it really depends. One thing I've noticed about me is I work really well under pressure, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because I'll tend to put projects off to where I have 4 days left. But then in those 4 days, I'll just create this huge masterpiece, and I'm like, oh wow, you know what I mean? So, but I'm a very fast sewer, so typically a show piece will take me maybe 1 or 2 days. If it's really complicated and things need to dry or glue, maybe a week or so.
Wow. So ideally, a client can call you on Monday and says, I need an outfit for an event on Saturday. You could pull that off.
I could pull it off. I've done it before, but I ask my clients for at least 2 weeks, just to give me that.
Because anything like this comes with a cost.
Yeah. Yes.
A high cost.
A high cost if they want me to pull something off like that. But yeah.
Well,
I definitely can.
Which brings me to my next question. Can people afford you, girl? Can they afford to have Ariel Smith make an outfit made just for them?
I definitely believe I'm affordable right now at this moment, but as I, get higher in demand, I believe my custom outfits will be a little bit more harder to attain.
Yeah, you gotta have bigger pockets then.
I definitely want to keep that, the feeling of having something custom and special, and people tend to regard things that they pay for a little bit more highly, if they spend a lot more for it. So
that's true. Now, with your collections, with each collection you make, is there a theme for your collection, like the one we saw last night? Was there a theme for that?
Yeah, definitely. I love having themes in my collection. I love for it to have a feel or tell a story or, make someone feel a certain way. So they definitely have some type of theme.
What was the theme last night at the Nashville Fashion Week? So
last night the theme was lemon, and it came from a various amount of different inspirations. One of them was a song by Nerd, because it just had this really funky, upbeat tempo that I loved, and Rihanna was in it, and she's one of my favorite artists as well, and she just has this bold, unique style about her. And then also Beyonce had an album come out called Lemonade, so that was another one of my inspirations, just all types of inspirations from the last year tied into one.
Wow. Wow. What is the ideal model? Somebody wants to model for your clothes. What's the ideal model that you're looking for?
Ideal model, I guess number one is confidence. Is that they have confidence in their walk and just confidence in what they look like, period. Is really what I look for. As far as runway models, I just look to see who's gonna make my outfit look the best. And that's really what I go for.
Nice, nice. What is one thing a model should not do if they ever want to get hired by Ariel Inc.?
Man, one thing, really, just respect the designer, really. I remember I went to one show and I had this model try on one of my pieces, and she just looked at it with disgust, like she didn't want to wear it.
Really?
And that just made me so upset. Like, you're a model, you're a muse, like This is my look. It doesn't matter if you like it or hate it. You need to wear it. You need to flaunt that. And so that was one thing I just really didn't like about models, when like they have an opinion about what they're wearing.
I just learned a new word. You need to flaunt that.
Flaunt it, yes.
Oh, flaunt it. Okay. I thought it was something else I heard. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So that's basically it. If they respect the designer, that's the first step to being hired.
Yep, exactly.
And that's a good point, because we're living in a time right now when people are so full of themselves, especially in the entertainment world that we're both in, and specifically the fashion world. Models can sometimes get in their heads. Yes. To the point where they're not realizing you're hired to do a job. Show some respect if you want to get hired in this industry again.
Exactly.
Wow. All right, so you just finished Nashville Fashion Week. What is next for Ariel Smith?
What is next?
What's on the calendar for you?
Well, at this moment, I have a lot of bookings for prom season. So I do a lot of like elegant gowns and dresses. I have a pageant girl who has a pageant in like a week or two, so I'm working on just a lot of evening wear right now.
Nice.
Wow. And then really among my custom designs I'm working on, I am working on launching this fall collection to be available, you know, in stores and online at least by fall 2018. So I'm working on that as well.
All right, be on the lookout for that.
Yes.
So you were in the spotlight last night, and I was one of the many people there who were enthralled by how beautiful your collection was. We're looking at one right there, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll have you talk about this piece in a minute. Could you tell us, did you just wake up one morning and boom, you're in the spotlight? Was there a struggle? What was it like did you ever want to stop doing this at some point because it was just so hard? Tell us a little bit about the struggle you've had to get where you are.
Man, there's struggles every other day. I probably want to quit like once a week. But yeah, it definitely didn't happen overnight. And I still feel like I'm in that process of, you know, getting my name out there and people knowing who I am. So I believe it's a never ending, you know, process to get there. But there definitely was a struggle. I do believe I've had the talent since I was young, but talent is just one part of it. It takes skill, it takes hard work, it takes dedication, and those have to be learned. So it's definitely been a learning process for me to get to where I am right now.
Wow. Have you seen drama from fellow designers in the business?
Not necessarily. I tend to keep it on a very not too friendly, like a friendly level, but not too close. If you know, if I'm
that line between business and friendly.
Yes, definitely line between business and friendship. So I tend to keep it on a very, you know, friendly level with everybody, but I also keep my distance because I know where I'm trying to go as a designer, and I don't want to make anyone feel a certain type of way because, you know, it's just me and that's my main focus. Like
you want to do you, girl.
Yeah. Like when it comes to other designers, I'm very tunnel vision. I barely even look at what anyone else is doing, like ever. Like I don't even think of anyone who's out right now as competition because really it's just me in competition with myself. So that's really how I look at it.
Nice. That's a good way to avoid drama. I like it.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
I like it. So, Ariel, how do we contact you? How do we follow you? How do we stay in touch with you? How do we know all things Ariel Inc.? What's the social media thing for you out there?
Yeah, definitely social media. I have Facebook where you can follow me at Ariel Inc. or my personal Ariel Smith is fine too. I also have Instagram. I have Ariel Inc., which is my business page, and I also have Ariel Inc. Slays, which is just kind of my personal / business page where I just, you know, it's a little bit more personal. So you guys can follow me on there, Instagram.
Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter. I don't really use it. I need to start using it more. I just don't have time to tweet. I'm gonna hire someone to tweet. Yes.
She's still busy making clothes, y'all. If you're out there, contact her.
Yes.
She needs a Twitter.
But yeah, on my Instagram page, I also have a number there, and so you can call or text anytime if you have any custom design questions as well.
What's a good email to reach out for business?
ArielInc@yahoo.com.
Sweet, sweet. And we're gonna put all that information for you in the link below.
Yes.
Sweet. So, what is the dream for you? What does 5 years from now look like for you?
Ooh, 5 years from now, I definitely want to open up my own stores in a few major cities in the U.S. That's one of my biggest goals at the moment. And then also, I want to be a custom designer for celebrities and artists, which is one of the reasons why I moved to Atlanta, just because I love the atmosphere of, like, you know, just that celebrity lifestyle is something that I really love to do, and I would love to work with more celebrities in the future.
You know, having seen your line, I have no doubt they'll be all over it.
Yes.
To want to wear your clothes. It's a beautiful line. So talking about line, as you can see, the set has changed a little bit today. We do have one of Ariel's design here. Can you tell us a little bit about that piece right behind us?
Yes, so this is one of my newest additions to my Live-In collection, and I was really inspired by just having something that was soft and girly, but also hard and edgy. So that's why I was like, you know what? I need a tutu in this collection. So I made a yellow tutu, and then I paired it with this sequin blazer, which is just one of my favorite pieces as well, because it has the oversized shoulders and it also has a zipper that goes down in the front. So very, very cute piece, and I believe people could wear it to an event and really, really stand out and be the center of attention.
Oh yeah, I mean the mannequin stands out right now, and it's inanimate, so we can imagine somebody actually wearing this. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece.
Thank you so
I
much.
definitely buy this for the ladies in my life.
Thank you.
Somebody, the younger Ariel is looking at you right now, maybe 8, maybe 16 in high school, and they love what you're doing. And do you have any last word for them? Or you have that 40-year-old woman or men who always wanted to design, gave up on their dreams, and now they're at that place where they don't think they can keep going. Or maybe you have that somebody who's been so hurt about pursuing their dream, they just gave up altogether. Somebody's about to pop in that pill because they just had enough. What would you like to tell them right now?
Well, it's crazy because I actually made an Instagram post today that said, you know, I do this for the dreamers out there, because that's really what I do. Like, I do it to show people that, you know, you can have this crazy dream and you can really pursue it and make something happen. You know, people all my life has been telling me, like, this is not something that's really gonna get you far. It's not something that's gonna make you a lot of money. It's too artistic. It's too, you know, it's not something you should pursue. But I'm just so happy that, you know, I keep going because, you know, dreams do come true if you just work hard at it. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine.
You know.
That's fine. Absolutely.
So, you know, to any dreamers out there, you know, you can really make your dreams come true if you just keep going and just have that passion, have that drive, and tunnel vision for sure. Tunnel vision. Even when people are congratulating you, have that tunnel vision to where you're not letting it sidetrack you from your goals. Because the congratulations sometimes will turn into people criticizing you, and you have to learn how to take that and keep moving forward even when it's bad. Okay, sorry.
Oh, no,
Okay.
that was
I'm done.
beautiful. That was beautiful. That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful. It touched me deep inside, even now, as I'm thinking of a few things I've worked on. So if you're out there and you're listening to us and watching us right now, I'd like to introduce you to fashion designer Ariel Smith, who is in the S.T.A.R.Productions studios today, and you just heard her. Do not give up. Do not quit on your dreams. Keep going. Make your entourage the kind of people who believe in you, and not the kind of people who are going to put you down. Like Ariel said, sometimes even in your greatest level, you'll find somebody to criticize you. because not everybody's going to be for you. So just
Exactly.
keep going and never, never, never give up. Oh man, so this is Max with S.T.A.R. Productions, spiritually trained and renewed productions, where it's not enough to be talented, you have to be spiritually trained and renewed. My guest today, Ariel Smith of Ariel Incorporated. Thank you so much for being here today.
Appreciate it.